tell me about
Yeah.
getting Avenue Q. How did you wind up getting that particular
I was
chair?
doing the Sound of Music at the Helen Hayes with Lynn Schenkel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Lynn. So I had done after I did the Buddy Holly Story tour, I did the Buddy Holly Story at the Helen Hayes for a couple of weeks. We did it there, and and the director said, "Hey, we're doing Sound of Music next. If you want, I could put your name in. You know, I could tell Lynn about you, and maybe you could play Sound of Music as well." And he said, "Just so you know, her husband's a drummer, so he might want to do the gig. So if he does, then obviously you're not going to do it." Of course, that's Joe Moet. And I was like, "Wow, I hope this guy named Joe Moet doesn't want to do it because I'd love to, do the Sound of Music there. It's right outside of the city." And sure enough, Lynn called and was like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I said yes, and it was pretty cool. So Stephen Aramis had done a show there right before Sound of Music with my older brother Jeff, and Jeff's a lighting designer on Broadway, and he was the lighting designer for the show. And Stephen was telling Jeff about Avenue Q and saying that he's putting a band together. And Jeff said, my brother's working with Lynn right now at the Helen Hayes. And Stephen said, "Oh, really? That's interesting. Have him call me." So I called Stephen and I said, "Hey, Mike, this is what I've done." And he's like, "Listen, I'm putting a band together for this off-Broadway puppet show. Send me a demo. I gotta hear you. I mean, we have some people we're considering, but send me a demo." So I put a demo together of all like what I thought was my best recordings, and I sent it to him. And he called me a couple of days. He's like, "I like the demo, and you seem cool. Why don't you do this little off Broadway puppet show called Avenue Q?" And of course, I was like, an off Broadway puppet show? Is that really what I'm going to get myself into right now? But he invited me to see a run through in the rehearsal room just before moving to the theater, and I've never laughed so hard in my life. I was just dying laughing, and I could sense the creative team behind me watching me to see what I would be laughing at and what I wouldn't be laughing at. But it was absolute honest, all of my laughter. I wasn't putting it on, and I thought, holy crap, this is gonna be a huge hit. This is like, what did I just get myself into? This is amazing. And yeah, it was a seven year gig.